All right, so you sent us this document, and wow, we just had to take a deep dive into this thing with you guys.
It's really something.
It's called Immaculate Constellation. Pretty intriguing title, right?
Yeah.
And it's supposedly a leaked internal investigation into UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena, the whole shebang.
Yeah, it even hints at a possible government cover-up
Oh, yeah.
of something really extraordinary.
Definitely extraordinary.
And what I find so fascinating about it is that even though we can't confirm its legitimacy, like with absolute certainty,
Right.
the sheer level of detail and the internal consistency, it warrants a closer look.
It really does. And that's why we're here today to really kind of break this down.
Yeah.
Let's just start with the title, Immaculate Constellation. What do you think about that?
Well, Immaculate, according to the document, refers to the high quality of data being collected about these phenomena.
Okay.
We're not talking about grainy photos or anecdotal eyewitness accounts,
Right.
This is hard data we're talking about from advanced sensors.
So like really good data, really precise data.
Exactly. Very precise.
Okay, interesting. What about constellation? What do we make of that?
Well, that suggests that we're not looking at a single monolithic program here,
Okay.
but rather a complex, interconnected network of programs,
Uh-huh.
all focused on this UAP phenomenon.
So a constellation of programs in a way.
Precisely.
Okay. So it's like an umbrella term or
Yeah, you could think of it that way.
Okay. All right. So let's get into the meat of this document. What is the main claim here?
Well, the document claims to be the result of a multi-year internal investigation into UAPs, technologies of unknown origin, they call them TUOs,
Okay.
and even non-human intelligence NHI.
Wow.
And this wasn't some fringe group either.
Right.
This was authorized by Congress,
Oh, wow.
spurred by credible threats to U.S. national security.
So this was serious business.
Absolutely serious business, and it was compiled by an individual with access to highly sensitive information within the Department of Defense.
So someone high up the chain was taking this very seriously.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And this is where Immaculate Constellation comes in.
Okay.
The document alleges that this is the name of an unacknowledged special access program.
Okay.
It's SAP.
SAP, exactly. Black budget, top secret stuff.
Wow. And what's its mission?
It's mission gathering intelligence.
Okay.
Specifically imagery intelligence on UAPs and something they call ARVs.
ARVs, what is that?
Alien reproduction vehicles.
Alien reproduction vehicles. Okay, you've got my attention now.
Yeah, this is where the document gets a bit cryptic.
Okay.
It definitely implies a link to non-human intelligence, but it doesn't really go into specifics about what ARVs actually are.
Okay.
Or what their purpose might be.
Gotcha.
But what we do know is that Immaculate Constellation was utilizing a vast array of resources.
To gather this intel, we're talking tasked military units, intelligence assets, advanced sensor platforms.
Like the whole 9 yards?
The whole 9 yards. They were pulling out all the stops.
Wow, what kind of technology are we even talking about here?
Well, the document mentions IMENT, MASNT, and even HUMINT.
Okay, for those of us who don't speak spy jargon, can you break that down for us?
Of course. So IMENT stands for Imagery Intelligence.
Okay.
Think satellites, drones, even ground-based telescopes equipped with advanced sensors, full motion video, infrared, thermal, still photography.
Wow.
They were capturing every detail, every subtle atmospheric effect associated with these UAPs.
So they were going beyond just trying to spot blurry lights in the sky.
Precisely.
Okay.
Then you've got MASNT measurement and signature intelligence.
All right.
Think of it as a vast network of databases.
Okay.
Across different organizations, mostly within the military and intelligence communities.
Right.
This is where they store all the sensor data, along with radar tracks, signals, intercepts, anything that could help them understand these objects.
Uh-huh.
And the document claims that these databases contain compelling evidence of UAPs doing things that defy conventional explanation.
So there's actual documented proof just sitting in government databases.
That's what the document suggests.
Oh, okay. What about HUMINT?
HUMINT is human intelligence.
Okay.
This refers to reports from military personnel, pilots, radar operators, anyone who's had a first-hand encounter with a UAP. And according to the document, these accounts corroborate the imagery and sensor data, painting a more complete picture of what's going on.
Okay, so we've got advanced technology, eyewitness accounts, secret government programs. It's like something out of a spy thriller. But what did they actually see? What did they capture on film?
Well, the document provides some pretty detailed examples.
All right, give us the good stuff. Tell us what they saw.
Okay, so one example describes a daytime formation of metallic orbs observed by a CNTCOM asset.
Metallic orbs, huh?
Yeah.
Like little silver balls just zipping around.
Yeah, they were moving in this intricate formation over the ocean, captured on FLIR footage, and they were displaying these rapid, highly coordinated movements.
Wow.
Another intriguing case involves a fast mover
Okay.
observed by an Indo-PACOM asset transiting over the open ocean.
Okay.
It was metallic oval shape.
Oh, so like the tic-tac shape you hear about?
Exactly like the Tic Tac, and it was tracked by a sophisticated collection platform.
Wow.
The document highlights the object's incredible speed and maneuverability.
So we're talking about objects moving in ways that our technology just can't match.
Lots of the data suggests, yeah.
That's incredible.
There's even an incident described where a triangular craft was observed hovering just above a vessel in the Pacific.
Like, wow.
They call it the Equatorial Triangle Trails Unpitting Vessel Incident.
Equatorial Triangle Trails Unpitting Vessel.
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
That's a long one.
But the document emphasizes a close proximity of the craft and the apparent lack of awareness from the crew on the vessel below.
So a triangle-shaped craft just hovering over a ship, and nobody on board even noticed.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah, that is wild.
Okay.
What other sightings did they document?
One of the most visually interesting examples involves a large disc-shaped UAP that was observed emerging from within a dense cloud formation.
No way.
Yeah, this one was captured by an Indo-PACOM asset as well. And the document notes its size, its color, and its unusual maneuvers.
Okay.
Suggesting that it might have been using the cloud as a form of concealment.
So a giant flying disc hiding in the clouds. It sounds like something straight out of a science fiction movie.
Well, whether it's science fiction or not remains to be seen.
Right.
But the document certainly presents a compelling case.
It really does. And it goes beyond just individual sightings, too, right? It attempts to categorize the different types of UAPs they observed.
Exactly. They try to categorize them.
So there's a pattern here. They're not just random objects in the sky.
That's what the document suggests, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so what kind of categories are we talking about?
Well, it outlines 6 main categories of UAP shapes: spheres, disk saucers, ovaltic tack, triangular, boomerang arrowhead, and irregular organic.
Okay, let's break those down. What can you tell us about these different shapes?
Well, spheres, as you might expect, are simply spherical objects.
Okay.
Often described as metallic or having a smooth surface.
Wow.
They seem to be quite common.
Okay.
Disk saucers are your classic flying saucer shape, often described as flat, round, and metallic.
Right, the classic.
Then you have the ovaltic tack category.
Okay.
These are oval or elongated objects, often described as being white or silver and very smooth.
Like a giant flying pill.
Exactly like a giant flying pill.
Okay.
Then we have triangular UAPs, which are pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
They're often described as black or dark gray with sharp edges and sometimes lights at the corners. Boomerang arrowhead shapes are less common, but equally distinctive.
Okay.
They're often described as dark and angular with a pointed front end.
Like a stealth bomber, but, you know, not from here.
Right, exactly.
And what was that last one again?
Irregular organic.
Irregular organic. Okay.
This is kind of a catch-all for
Okay.
UAPs that don't fit neatly into the other categories.
So the weird ones.
Yeah, they can be amorphous, changing shape, or have unusual features that are hard to describe.
The outliers, the ones that really make you scratch your head.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got all these different shapes, but are they just random, or is there some meaning behind them?
Well, that's the thing. These shapes, they don't seem to be random.
Okay.
If you look at the descriptions of their movements and capabilities, the document suggests that these shapes might actually be related to their propulsion systems.
No.
Or the way they interact with our atmosphere.
So the shape of the object could give us clues about how it actually works.
That's what they seem to be implying.
That's fascinating. Okay, but before we get too carried away here, how do we know any of this is real?
Right.
Couldn't this document be a hoax? Some elaborate fabrication? What makes it so convincing?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right.
While we can't definitively prove the document's authenticity,
Okay.
there are several things that lend it credibility.
Okay, I'm listening.
First, the level of detail is extraordinary.
Right.
It doesn't just make vague claims.
Uh-huh.
It provides specific dates, locations, sensor readings, even excerpts from witness testimony.
So it's not just someone saying, I saw a light in the sky. They've got data to back it up.
Exactly. They've got the data.
Okay, that's good.
Second, The language used throughout the document
Yeah.
is consistent with the terminology and procedures you'd expect to find in a genuine military or intelligence report.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't feel like something cobbled together by someone outside of that world.
It has that authentic government jargon.
Precisely.
Okay.
And third, and perhaps most importantly,
Yeah.
the document's claims align with numerous other credible reports and investigations into UAPs
Sure.
that have been conducted over the years.
So it's not just this one document. There's a whole web of evidence out there.
Exactly. It fits into a larger pattern of evidence.
Pointing to the same conclusion.
That suggests something truly extraordinary is going on.
We're not alone.
That's the implication.
Yes. Wow. And that's what makes this so significant. We're not just talking about blurry lights in the sky anymore.
Right.
We're talking about a potential paradigm shift.
Exactly.
A fundamental reassessment of our place in the cosmos.
It's huge.
This is mind-blowing stuff.
Yeah.
But before we get too carried away, let's remember that we're dealing with a leaked document.
Right.
One that the government has not officially confirmed.
Of course.
We need to approach this with a healthy dose of skepticism.
Agreed. It's important to maintain a critical eye.
Absolutely.
But even with that caveat,
yeah,
the information contained in this document is simply too compelling to ignore.
it is.
It demands further investigation.
It really does.
It demands answers.
I'm hooked.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me more. What else does this document reveal about Immaculate Constellation and its investigation into UAPs?
Okay, so one that really stood out to me involves a Navy observation off the U.S. coast.
Okay.
The report describes a small orange-red sphere maneuvering at high altitude.
Okay.
Then it rapidly descended.
Oh, wow.
And stopped directly above the observation craft, hovered for a while, and then just vanished into the ocean.
A glowing sphere appearing out of nowhere and then plunging into the sea. It's like a scene from a movie.
It really is.
That's crazy.
Another compelling example is from an Air Force pilot's routine training mission.
Okay.
He encountered multiple objects, some spherical, some elongated, performing maneuvers that just seemed impossible.
Like what?
He tried to intercept one,
Yeah.
but it accelerated away at an unbelievable speed.
So we have trained military personnel observing these objects, doing things that our current understanding of physics just can't explain.
That seems to be the case, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so this is more than just misidentified aircraft or weather phenomena. Something strange is definitely happening here.
Definitely.
What does it all mean? What are the implications for us?
That's the ultimate question, isn't it?
It is.
The document doesn't give us all the answers, but it
Sure.
raises some really profound questions.
Like what kind of questions?
About our place in the universe, the nature of reality, the future of humanity.
Yeah.
It challenges our assumptions, expands our horizons,
Right.
and forces us to confront the possibility that we're not alone.
It's a lot to process, but it's also incredibly exciting. This document, if genuine, could be one of the most significant discoveries in history.
Yeah.
It could change everything. But it goes beyond just describing individual encounters.
Right.
It analyzes the data. It looks for patterns. It draws conclusions.
Yeah.
What did Immaculate Constellation learn from all of this?
Well, the document points to a few key insights that I think have some serious national security implications.
Okay, I'm all ears.
First, the variety and advanced capabilities of these UAPs suggest technology far beyond anything that we currently understand.
Okay.
I mean, we're not talking about slightly better engines here. We're
Right.
talking potentially physics-bending, reality-warping stuff.
So we're potentially completely outmatched technologically.
It's possible.
That's a little unsettling.
Second, the document raises concerns about the intentions of these others.
Okay.
While there's no evidence of direct hostility,
Uh-huh.
their presence near sensitive military installations, nuclear facilities, and even major population centers suggests a level of interest that's a bit unsettling.
So they're watching us, studying us, and we have no idea why.
That's the implication. Yeah.
Okay. And third.
Third, the document highlights the very real possibility that other nations are trying to reverse engineer UAP technology.
Really?
This adds another layer of complexity,
Yeah.
turning what might be a scientific puzzle into a potential global conflict.
Wow. It's a race against time to figure out what these things are, what they want, and how we can catch up. But what about the human element? What are the stories of those who've encountered these UAPs telling us?
Well, the human data, the reports from pilots, radar operators, military personnel,
Right.
they consistently describe encounters that are not only visually stunning, but deeply unsettling.
Uh-huh.
A recurring theme is these UAPs seemingly defying the laws of physics.
Right.
Appearing and disappearing at will, performing impossible maneuvers. and even exhibiting a kind of awareness or intelligence in their interactions with human observers.
So it's not just about the nuts and bolts of the technology. There's a psychological, almost spiritual element to these encounters.
Many reports suggest that, yeah.
Wow.
Some witnesses describe feelings of awe,
Yeah.
others of fear or confusion, and some even report experiencing electromagnetic interference or other strange phenomena during these encounters.
So this goes way beyond identifying lights in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about a potential first contact scenario, one that could fundamentally change our understanding of ourselves and our place in the universe.
That's the core of it, yeah.
That's incredible.
This document, whether leaked intentionally or not, opens the door to a reality we've long suspected but never had concrete evidence for.
Right.
It forces us to grapple with questions that are both exhilarating and terrifying.
It really does. What happens now? What does this document tell us about the future of Immaculate constellation? And more importantly, what does it mean for humanity?
Well, the document is a bit vague on the future,
Right.
but it's clear that Immaculate constellation is still active.
So they're still out there investigating.
It seems that way, yeah. It hints at ongoing efforts to collect more data, develop countermeasures, and potentially even establish some form of communication with these others.
So the story isn't over. We're still in the early chapters of what could be the most significant event in human history. But what about the bigger picture? What does this all mean for us?
That's the question we all need to be asking ourselves. If this document is to be believed, we're on the cusp of a new era, one where our understanding of reality might need to be rewritten. It's a time of great opportunity and great peril, demanding courage, wisdom, and unity that we as a species haven't always demonstrated.
This has been an incredible deep dive. We started with a leaked document and ended up contemplating the future of humanity. It's mind-boggling, awe-inspiring, and a little bit scary, but that's the beauty of the unknown, isn't it? It forces us to look beyond our limited perspectives and embrace the possibility of something truly extraordinary.
Exactly. And while the document raises more questions than it answers,
Yeah,
it reminds us that there's still so much we don't know about our universe and our place within it.
absolutely.
It reminds us to remain curious, keep asking questions, and never stop exploring the mysteries that lie just beyond the horizon.
Well said. This document might just be the most significant leak in human history. What do you think is out there? We encourage you to keep an open mind and stay curious because the truth is out there somewhere.